In studio, I have a founder of the Emerging Farmers Exchange who will be giving us some entrepreneurial guidance as well as guidance on the entrepreneurial and agricultural sector. We have Kudzai. Welcome to the show, Kudzai.
Thank you very much for having me.
Kudzai, could you please just lay the foundation for us? What does Emerging Farmers Exchange do?
The Emerging Farmers Exchange is basically an online platform for connecting your big buyers of agricultural produce with emerging farmers that do not have access to market.
And what agricultural challenges do you guys aim to solve or challenge?
Well, the bigger challenge that we're aiming to solve was access to market as well as price dissemination. So essentially with your emerging farmers, we discovered that for the most part, they do not have access to market. Basically because they're selling, the volume of produce that they have is very low on an individual basis. And in addition to that, they're not aware of what their produce is actually worth. So what we're trying to do is to aggregate all of those volumes such that the volumes of produce become bulky and they can easily be then passed on to a big buyer at a price that is near or slightly above market-related pricing.
And is it just the farmer themselves, or is it a general agricultural problem where these issues come up?
Well, it's mainly to do with the farmer, because at the end of the day, when you're farming or you're trying to get into commercial farming, the whole idea is you want to be able to sell your produce so that you can farm more, expand, as well as live off whatever income you're getting. So for the farmer, it's the farmer that faces that problem mainly, and that's what we're working on trying to address.
And if you're a first-time farmer now or wanting to get into this agricultural sector, what can you do to avoid falling into these traps?
Well, the first thing that you can do to avoid is to get access to information as much as possible, which is where even platforms like the Emerging Farmers Exchange come in, where you're getting your pricing information, you know how much your produce is worth, you know what's the market-related pricing, and then that gives you more power to actually negotiate with a potential buyer of your agricultural produce. So information is critical, and that will allay a lot of these problems as a start. Yeah.
And can you tell us what the current agricultural sort of economy or market looks like in general in South Africa? Because a lot of us don't actually know what our farming status is like.
Well, the current agricultural market, from the side that we're trying to address it, the emerging farmer side, it's a bit fragmented in the sense that there's little to no access when it comes to the market. When it comes to knowledge, these farmers, they're just farming the way they know how, not really using best farming practices at the moment. So in that space, there's a lot that needs to be done. There's a lot of organization that actually needs to happen. There are a lot of resources that need to be channeled towards that emerging farmers side, which is where we are also trying to come in and to address some of those challenges and problems that are within that sector.
And from the customer's perspective now, how do we make our decisions when we're buying farm produce? How have you seen that our buying power works out there?
Well, I think for the most part, from a customer's perspective, given the current state of things, many people make their buying decisions based on what they have in their pockets. So it just comes down to what's more cost effective or their needs at that specific time or availability of certain agricultural produce or whatever it is they want to buy. So yeah, that's how I would say from the customer's perspective, the market is currently structured. It's more about what's available, how much can I spend, or how much do I have available to spend more than anything else.
And what decisions can the farmer make in order to use that to his advantage?
Well, in order to use that to his advantage, the farmer, by gaining more market intelligence or more market information, he's able to then farm what he knows has demand or what people are actually into, or he can try to cater for specific markets. For example, he can choose to go into fruits and vegetables. If he decides, or if from where he's located and his soil type, etc., if it's suited for specific fruits and vegetables, and if there's a demand for it, that sort of information can then guide him to know what he can farm that can give him the most income.
Sure.
And actually make his life better, as well as adding value to the customer.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Gained a lot of information, and what I got, the key thing is that access to information and access to markets is very, very important.
My pleasure.
Thank you. That's all from me right here, Puno on The Big Interview.